I I had to share this because I'm amazed at like this beach here. I posted some of this on Facebook. I sent a message to my buddies who live in Thailand, and I'm walking down this beach, and this is normally like, this has got to be like one of the top 100 Instagram. Hey, good to see you guys. How you doing, Andy? And hello, Dave. So I'm here on Koh Mah Beach, which is also Mae Had in Koh Phangan. And it's surreal. I'm like walking down this beach that normally, again, it's got to be one of the top 100 Instagram shots in the world, like, or certainly of beaches. Let's just say that. Hey, Aztec, what's up, buddy? And I'm it. Like the other night, I was sharing it with a guy and his dog, and then there were like a couple people just kind of like hanging out here. And you know, if you've ever been anywhere in Thailand and girls or more get together, it's a photo shoot, right? And so there were a couple of girls down there doing a photo shoot. A couple of Russian girls I also saw there. Well, either that or they were just girls that knew Russian, but I'm assuming that's where they're from. Hey, Mr. Mitch, what's up, buddy? And I was just, I mean, it's just blowing me away. If you guys have ever been to Boracay or any other sort of tropical beach, let's just go say that basically faces west, then one could argue that one of the more popular things to do at that location is to go and watch sunset. And my buddy was going to Boracay for the first time a couple years ago. And Gracie and I had already been there like 2 times. Obviously, Gracie had been there 12 years, but I'd been there 2, 3, 4 times, something like that. And I said, dude, here's the deal. Unless you're in Boracay for more than 2 weeks, every single night you have to go to the beach in Boracay and watch the sunset, or you're doing it wrong. Doctor, good to see you, buddy. Aloha to you as well. And he sent me a message and he said, dude, you're gonna be so proud of me. I literally went to the beach every single night and watched sunset. And some nights it's not, you know, absolutely clear blue sky. And boy, the infrared feels so good. But what was, as I was walking along the shoreline here, I wanted to, let me flip this around. It was just so cool because it was like a line of coconuts that I think probably humans didn't have a whole lot to do with. I mean, the fact that they're spaced out basically almost uniformly, that's a bit amazing, but nonetheless. Hey, Nathan, what's up? Good to see you. And so, as I was walking along here, I was thinking about, well, okay. Let me guess, Mike. Gratitude? Yes. Okay, so I was having a gratitude attack. And not just because of the environment, not just because where I am right now, not just because where I get to be right now, not just because the friggin', you know, look, I did some steps, okay? But at the end of the day, there's also a lot to be said for dumb luck. And, you know, but either way, the gratitude is just, I mean, it's overflowing. And I was thinking about Gracie. And the good news is that there are beaches like this in the Philippines. They're not, you know, they're not a 5-minute walk from her house, from our house, but they're available, you know. But she's not really a beach, like, well, she's also Filipina, right? So therefore, she's not going to be like, oh, I can't wait to go for a nice, long, 7-hour walk on the beach by myself. They don't do that. So my enjoyment here is not something that it's like, oh, she's missing out on this, because she wouldn't necessarily want to do this, certainly by herself. So, hey, Rupert, how you doing? I know I wrote it down, Rupert, but I can't remember the last the last food recommendation you gave me based on your PayPal. Oh, so here's what's funny. So you guys have heard my videos, right? And I'll be talking and I'll just like sort of laugh and I'll be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like, what lottery did I just win? Right? Okay, so you remember that bird from like the video the other day and just how I'm laughing like right now? Now when I walk by the bird, it laughs out loud at me. I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I get one of you? And just like just put you on my shoulder, dude. And I was about to say he, but I believe it's a she, or either that or the bird is incorrectly saying sawadee ka. It should be saying sawadee krap. But anyways, that was kind of funny. But it's I mean, I love it. Like, selfishly, thank you very much, Andy. I really appreciate that, buddy. That's like totally cool. Hey, you know what? Here's something I want to throw out there to you guys. And I genuinely want and quite frankly respect your honest opinion. At any time during my broadcasts or my videos, primarily my live streams, do you even get like the slightest hair, like 0.01% of that little just sort of, you know, you tilt your head sideways like a dog that's confused or something, puppy that's confused, and you think, God, Mike's kind of like begging for money? Because I have no problem with what anyone else does. Penang curry. Oh, dude, that's so rad. Here's what's really cool about that, Rupert. I had Penang curry the night before I left to come down here. So I'm stoked. So I thank you, Aztec. I appreciate that. I would also appreciate it if you said, yes, Mike, and you do it this way, and that might be why you think so. Hi. Oh, good to see you, Siddharth. I will never be one of these guys that like trolls someone, quite frankly, because let's be clear, my life is way too awesome to bother like wasting attention units, quite frankly, on, I can observe other people's, but judging it negatively, it's like, oh my God, you want to talk about wasted energy. So I will never be like e-beggar, and trust me, let me be very, very clear right now too. I am in no way inferring or implying that Jeremy specifically does anything wrong, because I know that occasionally he, but also my other friends too, that are on YouTube, but Jeremy and I have just sort of started doing things together lately. And so I just wanted to make 105,000% clear that I am in no way saying that Jeremy is an e-beggar, okay? And I don't even like that term, but regardless, it's out there, and so we can all sort of relate to it. But I was thinking about it the other day, or I was reflecting on it today, reflecting back on the last live stream that Dana and I did, where at the bottom of the screen, and I also do this on my own, Live My Ass Off channel, not just Bangkok Strange, there's the crawl, where it's like, hey, look, this is my PayPal link. And I don't know, it was just one of those deals where like it was kind of like one of those, hey, I'm a puppy and I'm tilting my head sideways because I'm confused moments of my life. And I thought, I wonder if like there's anything that I do that potentially makes people, or not, I can't make anyone, that provokes somebody to say, God, Mike's like begging for money. Like this guy like hops on a friggin' plane and goes to a beach that we literally save up all year to go to for like 14 days. And then he's like, oh, by the way, here's my, and I was like, Anyway, so, Damo, good to see you, buddy. Nah, 2 seconds to get to Jeremy. 2 seconds to get, what? I don't know what that means, sorry. 100% you don't live, oh, thank you, Robert. Okay, and Doctor, thank you. Now, here's the other thing, too. You do not come off like that at all. All right, so here's the thing. As you might guess, I prefer these answers. But here's what I want to throw out today, and I may or may not remind you of this sort of thing like every quarter, let's say. I give you guys 100% permission to reach out to me and say, you know, Mike, there's a little bit of a disconnect between this gratitude thing you keep talking about and your behavior online. I really want to make sure you guys are aware that that's helpful to me. I think you guys and me, hopefully, this Cool Kids table, we get the statement constructive criticism. I fear too much in the world there is the use of the descriptor constructive criticism, when in reality it's infinitely more destructive criticism, which of course, as we know, by the definition of those two words, that means it's ineffective, right? Anyway, I'm not gonna belabor this anything, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Because that's what I like to do at the Cool Kids table. And I want to thank you for giving me permission to do that. And I want to thank you for future critiques and improvement suggestions that you might give. So there you go. 2 seconds for the topic on e-begging to get to Jeremy / bring up Jeremy. Oh, you mean me? Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I had someone reach out to me, and they basically described his behavior as fairly negative. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know why you're, what do you, I mean, are you communicating to me because you expect me to respond with acknowledgement of that while that's your truth, I completely disagree and you're a jackass? So anyway, it's just one of those things that happens in my life. I see other people doing other things, not my close friends, but I see other people at random sort of doing things, and if I ever get the whole, turn my head sideways, well, that's kind of weird. I hope that many times when I think to myself, well, that's sort of an odd behavior, or I might judge it and be like, God, that guy's being a jerk. I like to think that well, wait a second, do I do that? So anyway, that's more of the sort of umbrella topic that I'm talking about. So there you go. Yes, I've had it. Now, see, I know Dave just hates me deeply, if for no other reason than I don't know how to make pizza like he does. So basically, I'm half the man, essentially. And guys, have we like totally congratulated Dave enough for getting married? Dave, I haven't watched your video. Gosh darn it. I got to do that. I want to do that. I think you're the same guy, but I only usually give anything on a spur you don't expect. Patrons are YouTube members and is certainly never focused. Yeah. You're welcome. Give me my damn pizza. Micah would not keep coming back if I felt you were not providing me value. Thank you, doctor. And you know what's funny? Whether you like him or not, I have not interfaced with him in a while. But one of the people that I befriended several years ago was JC. John, if you don't know, he let that slip one time. But regardless, that's not important. Anyway, JC with retiredcheap.asia. And we started talking about, some things. And he and I were talking about his member site. And he kind of was like, hey, will you do a testimonial for me, sort of thing. And that's very common. People that have websites, they're like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I did this testimonial. And I said, all right, well, do you trust me enough such that, like, you're not going to edit it no matter what I say? And, of course, jokingly, he's like, what are you going to do? Tell people that I'm, like, a homosexual, whatever. Tell people that I'm actually a lady or whatever. But he said, yeah, go for it. And basically, that's what I did. I posted exactly what you were saying, doctor, which is, look, here's the deal. Like, JC adds value to my life by giving me the data and the fact and the opinion and the experience through his member site. And until he stops adding value, then I'm going to keep giving him money. And for him, it was to the tune of $99 a year, which was his basic membership fee for his website. And so thank you for that, because it's a behavior that I resonate with, which is, look, dude, I vote with my wallet, I may not even reach out to you. I may not communicate with you verbally, email, that sort of thing. But if all of a sudden you stop getting $99 a year from me, that's about as much communication as I'm going to throw out there. So oh, how cool is that? Oh, dude. And I know I'm shaking. As you guys know, I didn't bring my gimbal. And again, I'm out here and I'm like, I'm not even going to bother doing a live stream. I'll just send Gracie a picture. And then Buddha drops this in my lap, and I'm like, show off. So I wanted to share it with you guys. Like with all the crap going on in the world, you give light and hope. Thanks, buddy. Just taking a break from some design work. If you don't know, Dana sews, and for the most part, he pretty much sews like, you know those really, really large panties that like 70-year-old women wear? That's pretty much his specialty. And again, I'm not judging. I think that that's a fine product, and the majority of the world, unless they're wearing a Depend undergarment, they will wear one of Dana's, you know, custom made. I believe the smallest size is 41-inch. Panties, you know, and to be fair, I mean, it's Thailand and we don't judge, and so therefore, while they are, you know, technically women's panties, you know, a lot of men apparently will wear them too, and I know that simply because, well, let's just say Dana and I have hung out in the locker room that one time, so. Do you guys have friends like that? Where you could just like with such a straight face, like there's at a minimum, right, there's like no eggshells in the relationship, but then at a maximum there is global public ridicule via infantile descriptions of a 6-year-old boy. But yeah, so that's Dana. That's Dana and me. And I cherish stuff like that, guys, you know? Jim and I are both crying. I could just see Jim now. She's like, at first she's probably like, wait, what? She probably like ran up the stairs, like opened up their chest of drawers, like, what the fuck is all this? My God, these briefs are enormous. I could make parachutes out of these. See, Jim, you get me. You get me. So I don't know if you guys have a, I know, you know, obviously Dana has a Thai wife, and gotta love Thailand. Dave has a Thai wife. And, you know, both Dana and Dave are pretty big guys. I'm tall, but they're both big. And I'm sure when they stand, or I've seen them, certainly Dana, you know, they stand next to their wife, their Thai wife. You know, and they essentially dwarf them, right? Which is the same thing with me and Gracie. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever had this. I think Dana and I were talking about this the other day, and I know I'm shaking, I'm sorry. I was actually on the motorbike for like 3 hours, so I think my arms are also kind of, but regardless. We were talking about the amount of fabric that gets taken up by shirts, shorts, undergarments by our Asian significant others, right? And because like I can go with a carry-on that basically Gracie brings about a 3 to 4 kilo carry-on, and she's got clothes for like almost 2 weeks without having to go to the grocery store, without having to go to the laundromat, right? Shiny red ball. But yeah, but unfortunately, like my shorts, because I wear like cargo shorts, you know, so they're not really shorts, they're more like halves. In other words, like instead of the pant going all the way down to my ankle, it goes down to like my knees or whatever. Daniel, have you checked out Bangkok Strange? Yes, Jib will pack a week worth just to 700 per. Yeah, I know, right? Amazing. Oh, you guys. Oh, hey, Sudarat, I am at a beach called Koh Ma. Well, okay, so Koh Island, right? So that is Koh Ma over there. And then this isthmus, I think, is what you would call it accurately, basically joins Mae Had. And again, the phonetical way that they write that is Maehaad, and that's like that beach basically all the way over there. And then if you see those like green roofs in the distance there, and then beneath that, that's my resort. And then this whole bucket of awesome sauce is on Koh Phangan Island. God, I cannot tell you how reactive I am when I pronounce the name of this island wrong, because Dana's freaking wife, Jib, is Thai. So obviously she pronounces this thing, right, correctly. But of course, Dana, being Thai by abrasion, he basically, you know, thinks that he speaks Thai as well as Jib does. And again, let's be clear, one of the benefits of me doing this live stream without him is that I can pretty much say anything, and all he can do is type back to me. And, you know, only having that 4th grade education, I'm not too worried about him typing. All right. Yes, 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 I miss Dana. That's why I'm doing all this nonsense. I will enjoy. Thank you very much. Wait, what did she say? Knit by Jib. Did you say a Thai word? Yes. Jib, do you know what happens when you go to sleep and I break into your house and then I take a cup of warm water and I place your hand in that cup of warm water as you're sleeping? Because if you don't, and Dana, don't you dare tell her, then I'm going to do that as a present for you helping me learn Thai in the loving and caring way that you have thus far. Me and my buddy Brian used to do that to his younger sister when I would have a sleepover. And she would wake up. Anyway. As you can potentially tell, I have not shaved. This is what's known as 1 hour's growth, actually, in the world of Dana. For Mike, this is what's known as hour 47. This is as fast as it goes. But Dana knows what happens when you do that, yeah. Pick up Bangkok Strange. Yeah, do that, if you will. And in fact, honestly, guys, right now, we're trying to get to 100 subs, because if you don't know, with YouTube, once you get to 100 subs, then you can actually brand your silly thing. Like right now, our channel is youtube.com/C/random hash number. You know, it's not like youtube.com/live my ass off. It's not that elegant nor easy to convey. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Thanks, Demo. You're great, buddy. We live stream historically Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Bangkok time, and then a pre-recorded podcast, effectively video podcast, drops that evening. We did a other live stream on Bangkok. God, I am so shaking. I'm actually really thirsty too. Probably because I've wasted all my damn water heating it up, putting it in a cup, and then putting it into the hands of people that are taking naps. I have 40 now. Sitting at 61 subs. Nice. Oh, Dave, you have 40? Good for you, dude. I think I damn it. I've got such a bad memory. I don't know if I've subscribed, dude. I'm sorry. I will, obviously, but I just got to remember to do it. On your next trip to Bangkok, I will be getting some Bangkok Strange. Or do you mean... Good for you, Damo. Yes, get yourself some Bangkok Strange. Oh my God, Mike, that's my wife's too. She's size 00 and I'm XXL. Yeah. So I used to help with a website called houseofstyle.com. If you remember houseofstyle.com, that actually used to be a kind of a program on MTV. Anyway, my buddies had this kind of boutique clothing store in La Jolla, California. And houseofstyle.com was their website. And to give you an idea of how long ago it was, we hosted it all on Yahoo. Anyway, it was a fun project, and actually, believe it or not, I got to meet a guy whose name you probably will have no idea. His name is Rick Ayer, A-Y-E-R, and he's a billionaire. But the reason you probably don't know him is the name that you probably know, more appropriately associated with the company that he helped start, is Jeff Bezos. And one day Jeff Bezos called Rick Ayer and said, dude, I need you to come like over to my garage, my warehouse. It wasn't a garage, it was a warehouse. And I need you to write a database for this website that I'm doing. And I can't pay you. So Rick Ayer wrote the first database for Amazon. And the rest, as they say, is history. I'll let you guys hang out with that as I walk past. Anyway, so I met this guy, Rick, because for whatever reason he was connecting with our website, and he's actually sort of into fashion. Anyway, so I'm talking with him, and the majority of the sizes we would sell, actually size 4 was our biggest size. To give you an idea of the size of the average woman that would buy jeans from us, the biggest size was 4, and we absolutely had double zeros. And so yeah, I know exactly how small those jeans are. It's pretty cool, right? Live streams are only on the YouTube. Oh yeah, right, sorry, thank you. Okay. But yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Here's the interesting thing about, here was the biggest learning I got from speaking with Rick Ayer, is that Rick he tells me the story, and he says, you know, and he's telling me all this, and he's a very humble guy. Interestingly enough, he looks a lot like Steve Wozniak, if you know that sort of character, you know, the way the hair and the beard. Anyway, so Rick, you know, he's telling me this whole story, and he says, yeah, so I started that, and then I, you know, worked with Jeff for a while, and, you know, then we kind of went our own, you know, kind of like the standard Bill Gates slash, not Steve Ballmer, shoot, what was Bill's sidekick? I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, I just had, Alan, damn it, hold on. The guy behind you is turning into the Incredible. Yeah, I kind of saw him doing some yogurt, doing some yoga. Paul Allen. Jesus, Mike, are you kidding me? Have I like ever been to an IT conference? Yeah, so Paul Allen, obviously. Oh, did you guys see that? Paul Allen certainly wasn't into, you know, wasn't committed to Microsoft as much as Bill Gates. Bill Gates basically did it 103,000% of the time. Paul Allen did it quite a bit, but yeah, thanks, Dana. Anyway, so that was sort of, well, actually, Rick Ayer was even less engaged than Paul Allen was to Microsoft, regardless. So he's telling me the story. He's recording, so I'm not going to talk as we go by. She's asking him a question. They're doing an interview. And as we all know, my indoor voice does not exist. So I'm going to let them do their sort of interview and go past. Anyway, Rick tells me this story. And so, you know, I mean, okay, and this is back in 2004, okay? Not now, given the value of one share of Amazon, which I believe is around $3,200. It wasn't even $320 back then. But so I'm talking with him or whatever, and I said, okay, so you're a billionaire. He's like, yeah. He said, all it does is, you know, it allows me, I have a lot more means, you know. And he said, I was never really into the whole, like, oh my God, you know, I gotta buy a Ferrari, or I gotta buy, you know. He says, look, I've got a giant house. But it was a really interesting moment that I'll never forget. He's like, I would literally write you a check for all of it right now if you could make, I'm gonna lose it, if you could make my son not be disabled. And I was like, yeah, I bet. So his son is permanently in a wheelchair, has to be cared for 24/7. And again, thank God that Rick has the means for that. But anyway, so that, and then a very, very good friend of mine currently has ALS, and he is in a wheelchair. And he started talking a little nasal, oh, my battery's gonna run out soon. All right, so I'll just end with this story. Heart-wrenching as it may be. So a very, very good friend of mine started talking nasal a little bit one day, and he's like, oh, that's kind of weird. So he goes for like an operation. Thought maybe his deviated septum or something like this. Comes back, doesn't go away. Comes home one day for a business trip, trips over a dog toy, falls down, punctures his lung, crushes one of his things. He's like, what the hell's going on? Why am I so clumsy? Because he's like only like my age at the time, right? So then he goes through a whole series of tests and that sort of thing. And you don't just like take a blood test and then they say, oh, by the way, you have Lou Gehrig's disease. But nonetheless, he has Lou Gehrig's disease. And this is the guy that I like produced an album with. And like, this is the best he can do. And it crushes me, kills me. And he has means. Now, he doesn't have the means that, say, Steve Jobs did. But again, I think we all know the story about Steve Jobs. It was the whole, like, you kind of waited too long, dude. But the point is it was one of those scenarios of essentially the person has unlimited financial means. Like, I mean, Steve Jobs could have basically said, okay, I'm going to build my own hospital, and I'm going to fill it with doctors, and all they're going to do, every single one of them, they're not going to treat any other patients. They're all going to get together, and I will literally pay them $1 million per month, and they will figure out a cure to my cancer. And he could, you know, right? And he didn't. He couldn't. And by the end, he was sort of like, okay, but regardless, the learning moment for me was that no matter how much money I have, if I don't enjoy right now, and if all I'm doing right now is obsessing about making sure that I have a big war chest full of gold bullion, then I might not be able to just like pay $22 and get a bungalow on a beach like this and share it with you guys for effectively zero cost. Like, this literally is not costing me anything to do this right now. Yet it's bringing me gargantuan amounts of joy, right? And, you know, I'll also be, to top it all off, I also don't have ALS. I'm not physically disabled. And I like to think that I'm not really mentally disabled, although ha ha ha. But the point is that I've met guys that are billionaires. And they're like, dude, I cannot, you know, I cannot fix this Down syndrome. I can't like Tylenol my way into my son or daughter or someone that I love deeply having a perfect life, or at least a lot better life. And, you know, people wonder, well, Mike, oh my God, why didn't you work and save $2 million? Why didn't you save $3 million? Mike, why didn't you wait till you had $5.5 million before you retired so you wouldn't have to worry? I'm like, because, you know, because I had no idea along the way I would meet some guy named Damo and Aztec and Sadarat and Dana and Dave, and, you know, I had no idea I would meet all these people along the way, and then for effectively zero cost but a little bit of my energy, I would be able to walk on the beach and share this with you guys via a completely free, 100% reliable global infrastructure that has unlimited storage. You know, and that's not just why Thailand. That's why grateful. I mean, I'm having a moment right now, but like, I wake up with thoughts like this. Like, I wake up and I see this and I'm like, what? How did I, like, you know, I used to crawl around on the ground naked, sweating, talking to bugs, and all I thought about was buying my next little amount of cocaine, right? But then, then I get this. And I get to share it with you guys, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the definition of Cool Kids Table, right? So I don't know, I guess, I never planned these, you know that, right? But it always sort of turns into gratitude, and it always turns into, like I said yesterday, it's the view of life that made me reassess everything, just different eyes. It rubs off. Never been so grateful for what I have and where I am because of this damn channel. Thank God it rubs off. Good, I'm glad. This is the biggest difference between Mike and I. I am constantly after it, so his more laid-back life rubs off on me a bit. Yeah. Take a look at your life, Dana, through Jib's glasses. Because I would argue, I don't know her that well, but if she's got any sort of view of the world like Gracie does, I bet she sees you as pretty damn successful. I told Gracie how much I make one time. And she was just like, what, like every year you make? I said, yeah. She's like, well, what, how much more? Like, why do you? So anyway. Hey, Thailand Tim, good to see you, buddy. She was one of the catalysts for me saying, I don't need to work more next year. I'm good right now. Because I got this. So with that, it's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com saying, I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, there's a high likelihood that you think you're as awesome as your loved ones that wear a set of glasses that when they look through them, they think you're awesome. And if no one's told you they love you yet today, I do. Ciao.